Allister Coetzee, 14 Raymond Rule, 13 Jesse Creel, 12 Jan Seerfontein, 11 Courtney Kosan, 10 Elton Yankees, 9 Ross Cronier, number 8 Uzair Kasim, number 7 Jaco Creel, number 6 Siak Kolisi, number 5 Franco Mostert, number 4 Eben Etzebeth, captain, number 3 Kuni Oosthuizen, number 2 Malcolm Marks, number 1 Tendai Tawarira. The replacements are 16 Bongium Benambi, 17 Stephen Kitsoff, 18 Trevor Nyakane, 19 Philistef Dutour, 20 Jean-Luc Deprier, 21 Francois Hougaard, 22 Cohen Bosch, and 23 Damien Dalenda.
Allister, first of all, a lot of continuity there from your French series. I guess the standout selection, Uzair Kasim at number 8. If you could just talk to that and the overall balance of the back row in the injury-enforced absence of Warren Whiteley.
Yeah, 100%, Matthew. I think it's important to note that during the June internationals, we only had one number 8, and our captain Warren Whiteley. And all of a sudden, we have Uzair Kasim and a Dan Creel in the mix. So at least we have 3 number 8s going into the championship now. Dan Duprier. It's important to note that Siak Kolisi played really well during this June series, and so did Jaco Creel in the last test as well for us, the third test. They were the combination. Now I know John has also played exceptionally well, and both of those players, when they went back to their franchises, were really performing. So when it gets to a selection like for this weekend, I would always favour the experience that we need. And Jaco Creel, without a doubt, has gained a hell of a lot of experience in the absence of Warren Whiteley with the playoffs for the Lions. So that will help Eben Etzebeth, in terms of our leadership come this weekend. I'm happy to know that our balance is right. Uzair Kasim, he's played, at 8 before for the Cheetahs. I think he had 6+ games there at number 8. His line-out intelligence is absolutely wonderful. He's a great contester, a very similar role to Warren Whiteley. Plays in the wide channels and attack as well. So I'm really happy with Uzair Kasim there.
Just taking a look at the front row, the loss of Frans Malherbe tighted a big blow. Was there a temptation with Rui Andrea coming into the squad, having started the third test against France, that he would play?
I think, firstly, it would have been grossly unfair. You must remember that Trevor Nyakane was always part of the plans. Always part of the plans, even during the June series. But at some stage, we have really some fitness and conditioning criteria which we need to uphold to compete at international level. And therefore, Trevor wasn't part initially. He did very well. He's lost a hell of a lot of weight, and he's really fighting fit. So Trevor has been rewarded in the squad, back in the squad again. So what is also important to note that when you go to Argentina and you travel to Australasia, you can only travel with a group of 28 players. Where you had the luxury in June of 6 props, 3 loose heads and 3 tight heads, you can only have 5 props going on tour. And it's important that Trevor plays a loose head role, did there at international level, and also the tight head role. So with the 5 props, you have your 2 loose heads, you have your 2 tight heads, and what we call a swinger that can back in both sides. Therefore, Trevor's selection is by all means the right one. I think Ruan has been, as part of the big plan going forward. Ruan Dreyer, he slotted in very well when he came in this week. So he's just had 3 days of preparation with us, and I think we've made the right selection.
Probably a fairer question for Matt Proudfoot, but how important is Malcolm Marks' presence alongside whoever is propping the scrum in terms of scrum efficiency?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the challenge will come from. I think the Argentinians pride themselves on their scrummaging ability. I also have to mention and note that Kuni Oosthuizen has really come along in leaps and bounds and has really played well. We view this whole thing as a 23-man squad, and with players coming off the bench, also in Rugby Championship is going to be equally important like the June Test series. Players Quinny has got to, he's got a role to play. It's not about just, running and carrying, but to make sure that our set piece work well alongside Malcolm Marks. Important pillar to make sure the set piece function.
Allister, when you announced the players that would be released to play Currie Cup rugby, it was fairly obvious that Kerwin Bosch was going to be named in this 23-man squad. Obviously a very significant moment in his young career.
Absolutely wonderful young talent, and I think first and foremost it's my responsibility and the coach's responsibility to manage him properly. But without a doubt, a prolific goal kicker, and he covers 10 and 15. We had that luxury with Frans Steyn as backup 10 and also the goal kicker, and therefore a player like Kerwin is an ideal selection on the bench, and it's a must. Who else should we have selected? June again, one fly outstanding only. Pat Lambie out injured, Andre Pollard out injured. Now we've got 3. Now we've got Elton, Andre Pollard back again in the mix, and he's looking really, really good at this point in time. Probably in crisis situation, I would have looked at selecting him, but there's another 2 weeks for him to even condition better. We're happy we had him in the medical camp at SAS, and his skill-wise, he's really getting the sharpness, he's getting back. So in 2 weeks' time, when we come back from Salta, hopefully, he'll be ready for selection. And then the third one now, Kerwin Bosch as a fly-up, and that is the whole plan. Going forward, we have to have the depth in the South African squad, and these that we've sent back, it was so great to have them, like Warwick Geland as well. Fullback, Allister Coetzee, only fullback, Dylan to back up, but there's a third guy now in Warwick Geland, and has been playing outstandingly well. And then you have a backup in Kerwin as well as and the versatility of certain players in the backs, that's the way to go.
Enforced change in leadership as well. Can you just tell us about how this relatively inexperienced captaincy and leadership group have responded to the challenge you've set for them these past 10 days? Yeah,
I think our whole philosophy is around clarity and simplicity, and with a captain that we have, he's got a no-nonsense approach. He wants to know, it's no grey, it's white and black, and that's how we want to make decisions. And when the decisions is cut and limited, the execution will come, and without Evan's personality and mindset, it suits the whole team DNA very well. He's been good off the field and on the field. The guys are well prepared for this weekend. The captain has got a job to do. He's got to make sure that he manages the referee very well. That will be a bit of a challenge, but it's always a great experience, and he's got Jaco Kriels, Jaco Lisi, Elton Yankees around him, and Beast and Tawarira as part of the leadership group. So hopefully we will be able to make the right decisions, and just being able to adjust our game plan if needed and when needed.
Allister, you and the squad clearly took a lot of confidence out of the French series, but how big a step up is this, the Rugby Championship, compared to what you faced in that June series?
Yeah, this is definitely much tougher. Championship is really a complete sort of game that we have to be able to play. We weren't challenged a lot during the French series with regards to our kicking game and our aerial skills. We will certainly be challenged here. They have a couple of world-class players in their team. Sanchez, great kicker of the ball. Landau, also very good kicker of the ball, and Tukele. So, last year we were tested in a small field at Salta, and they fired some aerial bombardment, but we prepared well for that. Hopefully we see that as an opportunity and can capitalize on those kicks. Look, the Argentinians love ball in hand and carry that, so our defense will also be tested, especially when it comes to broken play. That's where they at their most dangerous. The little 9 will try and snap, with Sanchez will look to play inside ball. So we have done a lot of preparation on that. So hopefully, we can execute it this weekend. But this is a different challenge altogether. Breakdown is going to be very hard. They try and slow your ball down or turn it over, because they love broken field situation and turn over ball and score tries from that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. That concludes our live transmission on SuperSport. We'll continue with our press conference. First question. Thank you.
Alistair, with regards to Cohen, is he covering fly half and fullback or predominantly fly half? And if you can perhaps just expand on what role you see from him this weekend and going forward, obviously as a long-term investment.
Yeah, absolutely covering both 10 and 15. He was also invited to our camp the medical camp in CES, right? And we didn't have a good picture of his general play ability as a 10. And when I talk about general play ability, not just skills, but also his communication skills. And having watched him there and see how he is quite mature, for 19 years still. 19 years still, yeah, head on his shoulders. You can see there is a sense of confidence, and we need to unlock that more. So in order to give direction, and I'm happy what I've seen, and the coaches are also happy from what they've seen. So that's why he's been afforded the opportunity.
Yes.
Is this team very different than the one that played last year against Argentina in Salta and in Naples?
Oh, difficult to say. It's different in one massive way, and a fantastic team environment. Really big difference. If you want to ask me, that's a big difference. It's the team environment in which we operate, and a happy team, and that's a team that will focus on our processes, not so much on what is out there, and they know exactly where they stand in terms of the upward curve. We have to make a massive step up this weekend.
Okay, no more questions? You sure?
Considering the fact that this time first will be played here in Port Elizabeth, your hometown, how do you feel going into that confidence level wise, and of course with the team that you selected? You see that's a very young team, and it's also got a mixture of a lot of experience as well. So blending into that, how do you feel going into your first test at home, and of course the mixture of young and old?
Just for the record, I was born in Grahamstown, so yeah, that's my hometown. But I grew up in PE, stayed here a long time. Nonetheless, I don't think that has got any bearing for this weekend's test. I think for me, what's important is how we've prepared. I think we've prepared really. I know we've prepared very well, and that gives confidence. The preparation and the understanding of the whole squad as to what their role and responsibilities are for this weekend. We're under no illusion the Pumas are, it's a different beast altogether than the Jaguares. If you think that is the Jaguares, making a big mistake. They world-class players, like I said. They've got a good set piece and pack. They good drive, and they've got a good pick and go game. So we must be at our best when we want to get the result our way.
Alister, in Afrikaans asseblief, ons kyk na jou spankeuses. As jy net vir my kan mooi uitstel soos in Engels, ons kyk na jou agste man keuse, die belangrikheid daarvan en jou denkproses agter dit, en dan ook hoe jy sien vir Cohen Bosch op plaas van mannetjies, hoe hy inskakel nou by die span en sy ontwikkeling van hy deel geword het van die span.
Ja, die agste man situasie is nogal heel eenvoudig in die sin dat in Junie het ons net vir Warren Whiteley gehad as 'n spesialis agste man. En ons is eintlik geforseer om ook diepte te kweek en te groei daar. Ons het so doen dit ook vir Dan de Pre genooi. Maar Allister Coetzee het die laaste paar wedstryde vir die Cheetahs op Asman baie goed gespeel. Allister was ook betrokke verlede jaar in die toets teen Wallis, en hy is baie na in wat Warren Whiteley vir ons speel op hierdie stadium. Hy verstaan ons aanval in die wye kanale. Hy's ongelooflik met verdedigende lynstaan werk. En hy's 'n baie goeie lynstaan opsie ook. Hy's 'n intelligente lynstaanspeler. So ek is baie tevrede en gemaklik om in die eerste toets te kies, jy weet. Maar net die feit is gerusstellend dat Dan de Pre nou daar is. 2 weke saam met ons. Ook 'n spesialis af wat in ons kring is, jy weet. So ek is baie tevrede met Allister se oefening hoe hy geoefen het, en in die kombinasie met Jaco en Sia. Jaco en Sia was in die laaste toets, die kombinasie saam met Warren Whiteley, en Jaco bring net sy ervaring en leierskappe sal definitief vir Sia Coetzee vir Eben Etzebeth help, met Sia Coetzee ook as deel van die leierskapkorps. Cohen Bosch natuurlik, Elton Jantjies is heidaglik ons enigste staande loskakel. Die feit dat Frans Sostein hier is nie, wat vir ons loskakel gedek het en ook die tweede stelskopper was. Kan jy nie verder kyk as 'n speler soos Kevin Bosch nie. En hy het dit bewys in Super Rugby. Hy's ongelooflike stelskopper en ek dink sy persentasie is ook in die 80% hoor. En jy weet, hy skop baie goed uit die hand uit. Ek het, jy weet, hom van nader af sien in sy algemene spel, hoe hy kan kommunikeer en organiseer. En ek het dit gesien by SAS, dit is die regte ou. Dit is die regte speler, ons moet vir hom die geleentheid gee. En nou ewe skielik, André Pollard is op die randjie om reg te word. Hy seker so 2 weke weg, sit ons weer met 3 loskakels. En dit is vir my 'n baie gerusstellende posisie om te wees.
Allister, from the June series against France, I mean, what areas do you really think you're going to have to make a step up? And I mean, what are the prime areas that you think will be challenged even more in a rugby championship, which obviously is going to bring different opposition and different challenges on its own?
Yeah, I think what we shouldn't forget here is that the Southern Hemisphere teams normally play at the same intensity, and you know, and the physicality is the same. So we cannot sort of drop our guard in that regard. Intensity is a must. Our physicality, you've got to bring that, especially against the Argentinians. You have to bring that. Then obviously the next big thing is they're hard, like I said, on the ball, in the breakdown, the tackle area. We've got to make sure to make great decisions around that and taking the targets and the threats away in order to get our quick ball, because we love quick ball. We love quick ball and we want to score tries, you understand? The same with them. So there will be great opportunity from broken play, if you understand what I'm saying. So we would like to make sure that we still utilize our width of the field on attack from that quick ball, from the good breakdown setup, width of the field, and score tries, you know. So, it's like in all departments, we need to make a massive step up.
Allister, besides the experience you mentioned of Jaco Kriel, have you picked Sia and Jaco Kriel together just to counter the Argentinians at the breakdown, because they tend to flood the breakdown and disrupt, especially you spoke about the quick ball you guys love to play from?
Yeah, no, you could look at it like that as well, but defensively I know those two players, both of them, you know, they make good decisions in terms of turning it over to us. But in general, it's the whole pack in the front five's responsibility with the Lucy to see that you get quick ball, and we never isolate it. Our reaction to the breakdown is you know, at our best with that in that regard, because they do flood. But from a defensive point of view, to have those two guys in the team is actually a bit of a bonus, yes.
Allister, can I have your answer in Afrikaans? As you have already indicated before, the French never really challenged you, but these guys are going to provide you with a challenge. Which aspect of the play are you expecting the challenge to come from?
Look, Tabo, I don't think... Ja, ek dink nie ons moet die Franse se reeks net so afmaak asof hulle maar net hier was en slaansakke was. Nee, glad nie. Dit was vir ons 'n massiewe uitdaging geweest, en dit was vir ons 'n soort van 'n barometer waar ons was. Ons het vergeet van die reeks en dink om die reeks te wen is maar nog niks bereik nie. Ek dink dit is die kampioenskappe is 'n groter uitdaging, ja. Maar ons wil dit as platform gebruik en as 'n goeie basis gebruik om te kan verbeter en om groei te toon en 'n vordering te toon in terme van ons plan, in terme van ons diepte as 'n span en ook die groei van individuele spelers, jy weet, op toets rugby vlak. As jy kyk na 'n span, is dit nie 'n jong span nie. Is 'n span wat jonk is in terme van ervaring getal toetse wat hulle gespeel het. En hierdie dis hoekom die Franse belangrik was vir ons. Is 3 toetse agter die blad. En met elke toets groei spelers en leer spelers. So ek hoop die lesse is geleer en ons kan dit toepas in die kompetisie neem.
Okay, thank you very much.
What do you think about Argentina? They just won 3 matches in the 4 Rugby Championships. Do you think that are they getting closer step by step to the big teams?
You know what? To be honest with you, my friend, I understand also the psyche of the amigos, you know. They're not learning anymore. They're not. Argentina are competing in this competition. Argentina can beat any side on the day. So we won't be caught napping in the sense that these guys are learning. They're not learning in Super Rugby. They understand where they are. They know exactly where they are. They're a world-class team, and they're a powerhouse, and we respect them for that. And we will be at our best if we want the result for Saturday. So they're not learning anymore. They're a good team.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you.